Ready to head to Cassidy's Hold?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. Hey, while it's just the two of us, I'll be deploying to the Underworks almost immediately after we arrive. Watch Khan Stanold for me, will you? I know Oriel wants you to give him a chance, but he can't be trusted.
I'm always ready for anything, Eric.
I know. Let's move.
Decades of caution have been rewarded, friends. For this moment, and not one sooner, is the precise time to strike. Today, we wrangle our lands free from the Surgeborn's grasp and reclaim our hearth once more, whatever it takes. None of this could be possible without the esteemed prowess of the Spindle. Her work on the Arcs has laid the foundation for my plan. She and I will proceed to the Grand Gate at once. Scouts, you have your orders. It's time. Whatever it takes.
Bryn, you need to come with me.
Now?
Yeah, no time to explain. And Aurea, you should get on the scry.
All right. Whatever you need.
Let's go. Sev, I know you said there's no time to explain, but want to give me a clue as to where we're going?
So, obviously I've been working with the Eye. Well, he had me repair the Grand Gate. It's connected to this place called the Source, and, I guess that's where the Surgeborn came from. He's got this plan to go there and solve this problem once and for all.
Right. I heard that part of his speech already. What does this have to do with us sprinting like an Ash Peak Drake is on our heels?
So there's, it's better if I just show you.
Perfect. As punctual as you are daring.
Sev, what's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, don't blame him. He's merely a puppet. Ironic, given I'm the one all tangled up.
So you can talk?
Of course. Only language could allow me to prey upon Kenrick's exquisite inadequacies.
You've been talking to the Eye? Manipulating him?
Into a foolhardy and preposterous plan that only an absolute imbecile could think was worth pursuing, yes. I've been down here for years, laying groundwork and learning what I could about your people. All towards a moment when I could convince Kenrick to act. I almost despaired he ever would. And then, along comes you.
Me?
Oh yes. Kenrick is threatened by you. Terrified, even. In your brief time inside the Veil, you've accomplished so much more than he has in decades. Not that that's saying much. Still, you are the perfect catalyst for change. We have that in common, as you will discover in time. So now, he's going to open a gate to the heart of the Enclave, convinced he can recover it from us. And the one person I worry might be able to stop us is here, talking to me. You're fast, but even you can't run to the rescue now.
You've thought of everything. Except, why tell me all this?
Because you're too late to stop us. And even if you weren't, no one would believe you.
Sure. Unless they were listening.
Quit taunting it, Bryn. You've got work to do.
Isla, we must retreat!
No! I'm staying to fix this. Do whatever you can to buy me time. Bryn is seriously about to fight that thing.
The spindle told her to buy time.
Compiler doesn't take too long.
Can Bryn keep going for much longer?
She needs to.
Okay?
She can't be. No.
What? What's she doing to you?
Hopefully not what I think she is.
Spirits. Okay. Weavers have always dealt with problems like this. Well, not just like this, but yeah. We'll figure it out. Aurea. She'll know what to do.
Hey,
Hey,
how do you feel?
okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me. For that matter, I might not either.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. How could it not? And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you don't need a speech. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
I can't shake the feeling that if I had done something more, the spindle would still be with us.
She made her choices same as you. She was a weaver, and we do whatever it takes. Look, I know you, Bryn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary, and it'll slide off soon.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less true.
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast. But where to start?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you to call the meeting.
Me?
Yes, you.
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to start with you. We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Help us understand what happened. Just breathe, Sev. Start from the beginning.
I'm sure Bryn and Sola told you all. But I belong to an order called the Norians. We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert, and we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret political chokehold on the kingdoms. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. But I have my doubts. And so, the Order operates in the shadows. I imagine they were much the same here in the Enclave.
What did Stanild have you doing?
It was all work on repairing the Grand Gate. He'd heard about our success with the gate in the Hollow and felt I might be able to replicate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to do so. And he took me more into his confidence as a result.
Did you leave the Norians to become Solar's apprentice?
One never really leaves the Norians. Not with their life. If word got out about me betraying Stanild, I'd be a dead ram walking. But no. My people have a ritual known as Ram Bralem. It is a time to pursue another path. And Solar was kind enough to accept me for mine.
It's true. I knew it could be temporary, but was hoping you'd stay on after.
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control. Water, information, wealth. And they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil. For some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry. No more secrets. I just can't do it anymore.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this. I want to believe you, but it's hard in the uncertainty surrounding us.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you never disclosed.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us? Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can decide when the apology feels real to you. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits? Just trying to muddle through together. You will stay. And you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
I won't dance around it. The situation we face is not good. The Surgeborn are more strategic than we could have imagined. Now, we have no idea what they're planning, but we do know that they can plan. That's our edge. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up fast.
Then let me, as Aurea said, help. After I repaired the gate, Staniel took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon, or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the Underworks. Or while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the Veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things then.
Exactly.
Staniel thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the Veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space, sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wanted to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source. In the hopes of discovering how it worked, he had been feeding information to the Spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the Source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable, if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove its advantage. I'll need Bryn's help if that's all right with everyone.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel Ashar?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Bryn. Maybe she could pry some information out of it.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend. So, worth exploring?
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that beast.
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction? Doom?
Why not both? As I said, people are on edge.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this herald. We work with the Axle to look into the Spindle's latest research. And if she feels like it, Bryn has a chat with our imprisoned Surgeborn.
As good a path forward as we are going to find. Let's call it here and get to work.
Isla sacrificed everything for us. Bryn, I examined the wreckage at the Grand Gate after everything that transpired there.
Found something useful?
A kinetic strand, in fact. The Ark must have torn it from the Herald's pattern in the chaos of the battle.
Think we could weave it into my mantle?
I don't see why not. Its pattern appears to be quite similar to those found on wild creatures and Archons.
All right. We need every advantage.
Then let's get to work. Finished. This will be quite the powerful addition to your mantle.
How so?
This strand can twist kinetic magic into a tunnel. In battle, you could push debris or enemies through it and send them flying through the air quite forcefully.
Could I jump through it?
I suppose you could.
Hey, there's a lot of tall buildings, flying creatures. This is going to be great.
You're right. Just try to be careful.
Do you know what's amazing?
Tell me.
Digging into the past and salvaging relics that change your understanding of everything we do. Maybe this is old hat for you, because you've been free to do it for so long.
I haven't been doing it that long, but I can't imagine it will ever get old.
Well, good. So, our relics of the day are those scries we recovered, which work very much like yours. Which demolishes my original bet on ours having been affected by this surge somehow. My best guess now is that they're working so well because they were packed up so tight. I floated the idea with Dharm and he was pretty into it. Want to join me in following up?
Oh, don't need me to do the asking this time?
No. I'm getting the hang of this.
I appreciated your candor in the meeting, Sev.
It was terrifying. Wasn't sure I'd be allowed to stay. You didn't get to voice an opinion with the others. Are we?
I'm not upset with you. If anything, cautiously certain that what you did was for the right reasons. You'll need to keep proving yourself, of course. But in the end, you came through.
I knew something was wrong the moment that thing started talking to me when Stanild wasn't around. It was very focused on you.
Me?
So much so that it said the only way the plan would succeed was if you talked to it. It reeked of trap. I didn't survive a decade around Tarzan Norians without picking up when someone's holding a knife behind their smile.
But you still took me down there.
Sorry. An educated risk. I felt there was nothing it could do and wanted the whole band to hear it talk. I don't think it understood we have the scry.
And Stanild wouldn't use one, of course.
The Talon was his deepest secret. Whom would he tell?
Can you tell me more about Stanild's plans for once he went through the Grand Gate?
He was counting on Isla. She was exceptional at protective fields. But even then, no. I don't think he had a real plan. The Talon had convinced him he'd be able to survive and, fool that he was, he trusted it. We can't afford that mistake. But I have a theory. You know how the weather sometimes skews wildly hot and cold?
Right. The aeroliths.
What else do we see on similar cycles?
Miasma.
Exactly. So, it follows.
You think the aeroliths are able to affect raw magic somehow?
I do. And in Stanil's private records and designs. I found notes, specifically on aeroliths with Norian commentary.
You think the Norians were involved in their creation?
It would certainly explain why Tarza had such access to aeroliths before the Surge. If I'm right, this might be the key to making the source survivable.
Fewer tangles means less dead me. Absolutely. Where do we start?
You'll need to head to the Watersmith area of the Institute, and I'll guide you from there.
I hate to do this when we're already dealing with something like 7 distinct major crises each day. I've got 2 pieces of bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
The second one.
Excellent choice. We have a stove problem. We use specially enchanted coals to maximize burn time and minimize weight, and we're dead out of them. And second, the stove itself is dented. Rather badly.
What? How did that happen?
I don't know. I don't do stove maintenance. I'm a logistics girl. Maybe Sev sat on it.
He's still got bum fur, so if he did, it wasn't on.
Regardless, this is a Dam and Sola fix. One problem each.
I'm not sure they're in the best place right now.
That's why I'm asking you. They both love you, and can be grown-ups for the good of the group. Oria's already sick of salad.
Hey, mind if we talk somewhere private?
Lead the way.
I won't be returning to expeditions. I've known for a while now, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. My days as Point are over.
I thought you were recovering from your injury.
Not as well as I should be. That I got injured at all was a sign that I'm not as fast as I used to be. I should count myself lucky. Not many Points get a career this long, but I'm not ready for this to end. Especially here, of all places. What kind of legacy is it to reach the Enclave only to sit by the fire?
But you've had an incredible career. And it isn't ending just because you can't go on expeditions.
I know, but it's not the same. And some part of me was hoping to end on a big score. I thought if I found out who my father was, if he turned out to be some great weaver like my mother, it's silly.
Tell me.
I thought I could solidify my legacy in history. Make sense of what my own contributions have been, if anything at all.
You're an incredible weaver in your own right. You don't need impressive parents to prove that. And if you had to pick your last act as Point, isn't finding your way into the Enclave the biggest score of all? You're everything I want to be.
That's very kind. Maybe in time I'll make peace with what my career has been. But for now, it's too raw.
Is there anything I can do?
Unless you can give me a few years back. This is grief I'll need to sit with for a while.
I understand. I wish there was something I could do to help Oria see herself the way I see her. Lane knows a thing or two about recording legacies.
Ah, good. We're all here.
Yes, we're here to talk about the stove.
Anyway, stove's not working. Campfire sucks by comparison. How are we fixing this?
Yes, please, let's talk about the stove.
How did we run out of coal anyway? I spent 2 days in Varentia working on that last batch.
Sure, but then we ended up in the Enclave. So now we need to find more. Also in the Enclave.
I don't easily have the materials to process another batch. But the temple might have some. I hate to admit it, but that was the one really useful thing I took out of my time with the Church of the Hallowed Pyre. They know their fuels.
Great! Temple. But what good's coal without a proper place to burn it for cooking? Sola?
If we're able to find coal like before, then it'll just be a case of reforming and reinforcing the old stove. I will need a few materials. I'll draft up a list for Bryn.
Good. Excellent. We're moments away from hot food. Go team!
So I'll...
Go team!
It's good you're here, Bryn. We have a mystery to solve.
A scrinundrum. Ah, no, that doesn't work.
Scriddle?
Ah, damn it. That's so much better.
You two are fun. To business, though, what we need to really work on the scries is a new set of the tools I use to maintain ours.
Do you not have them?
Lost in our mad dash through the veil. I hadn't felt the urgent need to replace them just yet, but if we're to compare and contrast our 3 classes of scry, we'll need them.
We haven't needed these tools until now?
Like most Enclave enchantments, the scries are incredibly durable. I normally maintain ours every few months. We had more pressing matters at hand, until this mystery reared its head.
What exactly do these tools involve?
They are so very fiddly. Small optics for examining the casing, tiny enchanted ones to tug at the patterns that form the images and keep the sound clear. That sort of thing. Like tuning an instrument.
Could we not borrow some from Arek's people?
I tried. I would consider their tools insufficient to our needs.
He's saying they're bad.
I'm saying they're bad, but politely.
This is usually the part where I find myself wrestling a giant lizard or something. So you might as well just tell me now.
Bryn, you never fail to cut to the heart of the matter, but I have good tidings. We need you to pick a flower.
A flower? That's it?
Not quite. It's from a plant renowned for its magical sensitivity called Mirian's Bloom.
And the tricky part, Dom was telling me, is that it can't be moved via any kind of teleportation. No loom gates and such.
Indeed, and complicating matters, it withers very quickly once picked. Lane and I can stabilize it, but we'll need our workstations here to do so, which means...
I'm going to have to run.
Pretty much. Sorry about that.
I'll just stretch extra. Do we know where I can find some?
Yes, in the swamp not too far from here, on the other side of the hollow.
Sounds like a plan.
That tree still ripe with inspiration, Lane?
Oh!
Lane, I was wondering if you could help me with something.
What is it?
Well, it turns out Oria's search for her father wasn't just about finding her family.
Crusades into one's lineage rarely are. Let me guess. She didn't find the missing piece of herself that she hoped she would, and now she's having an existential crisis.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
It happens. So, what has all this really been about?
She knows she needs to retire, and she's struggling with what her legacy has been.
Ah, isn't it strange how the most accomplished people never seem to recognize their own success?
Yeah, I was hoping you could help with that. After all, isn't chronicling a legacy your specialty?
We could certainly commemorate her career with a written account. A lovely idea. I would suggest we personalize it with anecdotes from each of our traveling companions, as they've been in Oria's band longer than you or I. Would you interview them for me? Legacies may be my specialty, but you might have the leg up when it comes to connecting with others.
Sure, I can do that. Any tips on what to ask them?
Ask whatever you like. Maybe you want a few humorous stories in the mix? Or some readers prefer heartfelt. Why don't I start by interviewing you?
Me?
Of course. We'll need your input. What has Oria meant to you?
Oria was legendary to me before we met. To have someone like her give me unparalleled opportunity and responsibility, it means the world to me. She's a true guiding light in my career.
Great. I'll transcribe that and start her biography. Take notes when you speak to the others and come back to me.
You know, a lot of points struggle with transitioning into a Watcher's role full-time. And there's never been a point more passionate than Oria.
I know. I hope this eases her pain.
I'm sure it will. Now, what can I do to help?
We'll definitely highlight Ori's accomplishments, but I'm wondering if you've got any lighter stories to share.
Oh, there was this one time I had to borrow a pair of her trousers after an experiment went awry. Well, borrowed without asking first.
So you stole her trousers? And they fit you?
It was wash day, and I was trying to accelerate the drying process with a little magical heat. When all my clothes went up in flames, no one else in the camp would let me touch theirs. So I borrowed a pair from Oria while she was out on an expedition, hoping to find a solution before she returned. Alas, I did not. When she came back, she simply cocked a brow and said they looked better on me than her. I still have those trousers. They're comfortable, so I wear them on wash day for a laugh. And if I have to belt them above my ribs, so be it.
Thanks for sharing, Dom.
I haven't known Oria for as long as the others, but she's done a lot for me. I'd like to help with your project if I can.
Of course, Sev.
What do you want to know?
What drew you to Oria's Weaver Band?
Truthfully, it was Solar. I wanted to learn as a smith's apprentice, and her craftsmanship is unparalleled. But, I suppose, something she said about her leader always stuck with me. She said that Oria valued competence and accountability above all else. It didn't matter what your station was or where you came from. In the Norian Order, station was all that mattered, along with towing the line. I don't know. I thought it would be freeing to just focus on the work for once.
I suppose getting trapped with us wasn't the freeing experience you hoped for.
In some ways, no. But it's nice to be valued for my work, instead of my ability to cover for a superior's poor behavior.
Thanks, Sev.
Glad to be of service.
Bren, I love what you're doing for Oria. How can I help?
What do you think Oria's bravest moment has been?
I think she's living through it right now.
How so?
Aria loves danger. Hunting wild creatures, delving into dark ruins, pushing the boundaries of her magical abilities. But in my opinion, moments of true courage come from facing your fears, and Aria's never been afraid of danger. But recognizing that it's time to let go of what she loves and step down? Leaving everything she's built in your hands. That takes more courage than she's ever had to muster. I don't think she could do it if it weren't for you.
Wow. Thank you, Sola.
Happy to help.
Your idea to commemorate Oria's career with Lane is lovely. How can I help?
If you were to summarize Oria's influence on your life, what would that be?
Aurea saved me from serious burnout with the Udean relief efforts. Not to mention, saving me from myself a second time here in the Enclave. I don't know if I'd still be here without her. Or any of you, for that matter. Anyway, the longer I worked the relief ships, the worse the fatigue hit me. And I think that had become my entire identity. Barely a few minutes into meeting me, Aurea asked if I ever thought of becoming a weaver. I thought she was mad. But I guess she had observed me giving orders and organizing shipments on the docks all morning. By the end of our conversation, I had a new purpose and a home in our band.
That's perfect. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Ugh, my hand is cramped. But the account of Oria's career is finished.
Great. I'll gather everyone if you're ready to present it.
I'll need to ice my quill hand. But, of course.
Let's hope she likes this.
She will.
What's going on?
We wanted to present the latest addition to Lane's archive to you, together. We all contributed, though credit goes to Lane for compiling and writing it.
I've titled it A True and Personal Account of Aurea Silverbeak Harpinet.
What is going on?
We wanted to do something special to commemorate your time as Point.
You didn't have to do all this.
We did. You've done more for each of us time and time again.
No one is more deserving of a place in Weaver history than you, Aurea.
So we took it upon ourselves to write you one.
As a thank you for everything.
I don't know what to say.
Lane, why don't you read just the opening?
Aurea Silverbeak, as she came to be known, was born to Sharian Harpinet and Eugenius Osphine inside the Enclave just before the Surge.
Osphine?
Though she never knew her father, her mother hoped Aurea would follow in her footsteps as a skilled enchantress within the Maida. But Aurea decided to become a Point, blazing her own trail. Something she would continue to do throughout her career, bigger and bolder each time. We'll let you read the rest on your own.
We hope this account will help you see yourself and your accomplishments the way we see you.
I'm at a loss. All I can say right now is thank you.
You are hardly in any position to make lofty demands. The Council convened and unanimously stripped you of your role. You no longer hold the privileges of the Eye.
And how quickly did you convene that council? You hardly waited for my daughter's body to cool.
She is dead because of you. Because of your reckless behavior and deception, no less.
Hirun, how dare you? Every decision I've made, every action I've taken has been for her protection.
Abandoning her at the Grand Gate was for her protection. We all saw you on the scry. And that is Khan Arteme to you, Kenrick.
Is this a bad time?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
No. You're more than welcome at Cassidon's Hold. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
I came to offer my condolences. To both of you.
Oh. Thank you.
In the end, she was braver than any of us could have imagined. She took a stand and did what she believed was right. I owe her my life.
She was exceptional. It's hard to imagine the Enclave will ever recover from this loss.
Then why are you so opposed to giving her the funeral she deserves?
With the Surgeborn swarming Denevron, we can't risk a trip to the Hallowpire Rise.
For generations, every Stanild has received the right of ashes upon death. Isla will not be the exception to this.
Could I perform the rite on your behalf?
You? Don't tell me you're a Hallowpire priestess on top of being a righteous pain in my ass.
Skies, do you want a funeral or not? She's our best option.
Isla saved my life. I want to help you honor her death.
I suppose you do owe her that. Fine. For the rite of ashes, you need to burn an object that was sacred to the deceased upon the high pyre. As you collect the ashes, you must read a rite aloud to thank the flames for bringing the deceased to rest.
Do you have an object that was sacred to Isla?
Isla's most prized possessions aren't in Cassidon's Hold. She had a secret refuge in Dredger's Mire. You're sure to find something. She was always sneaking away at night to work there.
You knew she was sneaking out of Cassidon's Hold?
I knew my daughter better than she realized. Return to me with the ashes.
Thank you, Bryn.
Ridiculous! The Stanilds have been receiving the rite of ashes at the Hallowpire Rise for generations. That Hirun doesn't want to send a mourning party is an insult to her memory.
That's not fair. You know Khan Atame would love to give Isla.
Don't say her name.
All I'm saying is the Axel lost someone too. You don't need to make this harder on her.
And who, pray tell, is working to ease my pain? The answer is in the silence. No one. Let me guess. You've come to ask me to apologize to your naive lawkeeper.
No.
No? Isn't that what self-proclaimed heroes do? Demand justice for your friends?
I would never ask Lane to waste their energy on a conversation with you again. Do I think how you spoke to them was a disgusting, brutish display? Absolutely. But justice doesn't come with an apology from you, does it?
They attacked my legacy. I merely put them in their place.
Exactly. Without remorse, an apology would just be posturing. No. Justice is served in the way Lane still chooses kindness every day, despite people like you trying to tear them down.
Their research tore me.
Justice is served in the way Lane gets to continue living as their wonderful, talented self. Whereas you have to keep living as yourself. As someone who is clearly in so much pain over his own existence, he needs to make other people feel small, so he can look big.
I am far too exhausted to beleaguer this issue.
So we agree. There is no need for you to ever speak to or about Lane again.
I suppose we agree on that.
You're going to speak to the Talon?
I don't expect to get much out of it, but yes.
Be careful. Clearly the Talon was able to manipulate Kenrick. And while I know you're not the idiot he is, speaking to that thing is risky.
I just have to find out what I can. If the Talon has any insight that can help us.
It's a risk worth taking, I know. Just don't reveal anything in the process.